today, what I will cover, I will cover the topic related to the actual Azure virtual WAN. So this is the virtual wireless area network that we have covered for the networking point of view. Like I will give you the details related to what is virtual WAN, why we are using the virtual WAN, what are the use cases that we are using for the virtual WAN, what are the comparison, and what are the conclusions, and how can we use this in day-to-day life. And I will show you the brief about this Azure virtual WAN today. So this is the topic, and this is the agenda that we will cover today. So this is for introduction to Azure VWAN, types of Azure VWAN, key feature and benefit. So what are the key features and benefit we are using for Azure VWAN? What are the use cases, conclusion, and then the demo. So first, let me start with the introduction to Azure VWAN. So for this one, like Azure VWAN is a comprehensive networking service designed to simplify the process of connecting and managing your global network infrastructure. So this virtual VWAN, first I will tell you the WAN. So WAN stands for wireless wide area network that we are using for our networking devices. Like previously, but in before automation, we are using this process of connecting and managing our network infrastructure. Like you have to set up your environment in between in your organization, and you have to set up any kind of firewall, any kind of networking like router, switches, whatever the things you have to attach. So this agenda we have to use for Azure virtual WAN, and it is used for our simplify the network and connecting and managing our global services, whatever the services you are managing through networking. So it will be helpful for this Azure vWAN. So it's also, if you see, it provide a scalable solution for connecting branch office data center and Azure vWAN through a centralized hub and spoke architecture. So like it will be helpful, like if you are working in any of the offices, any of the organization, or any of the data sets. Like if you are a data guy, like if you are working on the data center, or you are starting your career as a data center, you know about how can we use a router, how can we use the switches, and how can we use a hub spoke connectivity. It means between the implementation of router and the switches, and between the computer devices that we are connected with the routers and switches. This kind of implementation we are using for hub and spoke connectivity in between that Azure vWAN. And but what's the use case, like why it is useful in day-to-day life? Like we can attach manually as well for the switches, routers, and all that. But for high scalability and performance optimization, we use this Azure virtual WAN. Like it will be highly available. It will not given any kind of issues. Like somebody, if you are working any kind of organization and somehow you are facing any issue related to the availability and of performance, now this virtual WAN will helpful for provide you high availability and the performance side. So it is an ideal choice for, if you see, this will be, I have already told you about the high availability and performance optimization. It is also ideal solution for streaming their network operation and enhanced connectivity. So it will be helpful for, like suppose there will be some kind of ID, or you can say resource group, or some kind of things that we have to add in our day to day on the virtual network, virtual hub, and virtual connection. This kind of establishment connectivity and the firewalls, you can say auto scaling, load balancer, this kind of implementation, it will be helpful for Azure vWAN. So this is the way, like it is the introduction of vWAN. If you see, this is provide you a simplified and optimized network of is scalable, secure, and cost effective. So this is quite cost effective as well. Like if you see that if you are starting your career, or you can say starting your organization, and you have to implement a large amount of switches, routers, and network and computers, this kind of device, it will take a quite costly and all that. For a cost of effective and all cost optimization, this virtual WAN is quite helpful in our network architecture needs. So with this of this, like we can connect, protect route traffic, and also monitor our wide area network. So it will also helpful for monitoring side as well. Like if you monitor your network, like somehow you are facing some issue related to any kind of switches, any kind of router, or somehow you are facing any kind of latency in between that traffic. So it will be helpful for providing all the things in your virtual vWAN. So this is quite important, and it will also helpful for a WAN, and also helpful for providing the wide area network. So, so this is the introduction for Azure virtual WAN that we are using in our day-to-day life, or you can say in our organization offices and branch site. Now, after that introduction, so what are the types of virtual WAN? So it will be provided different kind of Azure virtual WAN. So there will be a standard and there will be a basic. So there is two type of virtual WAN we are using, standard one and the basic one. So first one, I will clear about the basic virtual WAN. So if you see, the basic virtual WAN is designed for simple use cases and for the fundamental connectivity features. So these are the features like it will be helpful like basic hub, VPN gateway, routing, no express, limited scale. So this kind of features that will be provided on our basic virtual WAN. So it will be like helpful, like if you are working in a smaller organization where you want to do advanced network capabilities. So where you are not using any kind of hard things like suppose you are containing right around about 50 to 100 servers and around about 20 to 30 switches and routers. So in that between, this is basic virtual WAN will be useful. So basic hub, it will provide you a basic connectivity between Azure VNets and on-premise network. So it will be quite helpful for the virtual networks. So suppose you have to create a multiple VNets in between that in the environment. So this will be helpful for your basic hub environments. And also it will be helpful for VPN gateway. Like you have to do it for the VPN connectivity, like there will be a site-to-site VPN or there will be a point-to-site VPN. So it will provide you a support related to the site-to-site and point-to-site VPN connectivity. And also the major, like it will be helpful for the routing. So this is the important part, like it will provide you a routing capability with static and simple traffic forwarding. So whatever that forward, it will be helpful for forward the traffic in between any kind of things like you are using in between your TLS, SSL, any kind of certificate or any kind of things like you are doing for securing your website or securing your traffic. So it will be helpful for routing. And it will also provide you no express route support. So it will not provide you any kind of connections that you are using for express route. And last but not the least, it will provide you a limited scale. So it will be helpful for small deployment, like you are doing for the small deployment, for the testing purpose, on any kind of connectivity that you need for the required point of view. So it will be quite helpful. Like you want to check about the connectivity between VPN A, you can say on the VNet A or VNet B, or any kind of scenarios, like you have to do it in between to check the connectivity from one side to another side. So it will be helpful for providing this. So this is the basic virtual WAN that we are using for the Azure vWAN. Then second one that we are using, that will be on standard vWAN. So this is the standard vWAN have provide you advanced network capabilities. Like in basic, what we observe, like it will be helpful only for small organization and small network capability that you have to do it. But for standard way, like you can use this as a advanced network capabilities, like for larger organizations. Suppose you are working on a large organization and there will be implementation and there will be a complex environment that you have to set up for the networking point of view. So this standard virtual WAN will be helpful for this Azure virtual WAN, and it will provide you a good capability, like it will provide high availability and also it will provide a scalability according to your requirement. Like you want to scale up and scale down any of them, like if you want to do the load balancer or any kind of auto scaling or any kind of implementation according to the requirement, like somehow traffic will be increased and you have to increase up your scale your switches or scale your all the things or your instances according to the requirement, you can do it. Now the features will be, that will be a standard hub, first one. So it will offer connectivity options and better performance. So it will be helpful for the performance side, and it will provide us a very good facility regarding that we are seeing for the basic virtual WAN, but in standard it will be quite helpful. So VPN gateway, if you see on previous one, a VPN gateway, it will support, it will also support site to site and point to site VPN connectivity with high throughput and more connections. So it will provide you a high optimization, high IOPS, like it will be use any kind of IOPS and storage in between that you can use according to your own. Express route gateway, if you see on previously, like on the basic one, it will not provide support, but in this standard virtual WAN, it will support dedicated private connectivity using express route. So what kind of private connectivity, like suppose you have to create any of the resources, like any of them, and you have to create and you have to connect it. So you can use this private connectivity using express route. Enhanced routing, so like enhanced, like somewhat you have to do BGP, like border gateway protocol, or any kind of support you have to use for the route tables, like we provide the routes to one to another. This kind of environment, it would be helpful for enhanced our routing. But previously, if you see on a basic one, this will not need, but the standard one, you can do it a lot of things. And also on the firewall side, you can do a centralized network security requirement, like whatever the requirement is come to you, and you have to create a firewall in between that. So it will be quite helpful for providing this kind of firewall activities. And also DDoS protection, like it will be helpful for this attacks, like it will also protect you about DDoS attack, whatever the virus or whatever the things will be attacked in by any of the humans or any of the hackers. It will be helpful for protect our DDoS protection. And last but not the least, traffic manager and network virtual appliance. So it will also support for third-party networks. Like if you see network virtual application, the appliances that we are using for third party, it will also support for this kind of environment. And the traffic manager, so it will be based on your traffic manager. It will be based on your latency, performance, and also it will provide you any kind of scenarios. Like if you do for any kind of performance, or you can say scalability, it will be helpful for the traffic manager point of view. So these are the type of Azure virtual WAN that we are using. That will be a basic one and the standard vWAN. So according to the requirement, according to the standard vWAN is quite good as compared to the basic, because it will be fulfill over all the things in the large organization. Like we have the three to like round about we have 500 to 600 users that currently working in organization, and it will be helpful for providing a complex network capabilities. So this kind of environment, it will be helpful. Now, so key features and benefits. So what are the key features and benefit for Azure Virtual WAN? So it will be helpful for optimize the network needs, and also it will be helpful for designing and optimizing the needs of whatever the offer, whatever the unified network you have created. Like previously, what we have seen in any of the environment, like it will be helpful for cost optimization, scalability, availability, high availability, this kind of environment. So the key feature first, that it will be helpful for global transient network architecture. So it will be helpful for hub and spoke. So if you see this one, it will be helpful in different region, and with spokes, like whatever the spokes means, like whatever the VNets you have created with highly scalable and robust with the network topology. So this will be the network topology, like how many subnets are there, how many VPC, how many VNets, and how many route tables you have defined. So this will be helpful for global transient network architecture. And also, if you see, this will be a seamless connectivity between branches, data center, and Azure regions that we have already covered up previously. Second one, it will be simplified connectivity. So branch to branch connects branch offices to global network. So it will be helpful for branch to branch global network, global network from the branch to branch connects. And it will also helpful for site-to-site VPN, and also for VPN connectivity and on-premise network and Azure VNets. So basically, it will be helpful for you providing you Azure virtual network, VPN, and all that. And also, it will provide you a point-to-point VPNs for the remote secure, like if you are using a remote secure records connected to Azure VNets or any kind of SSTP protocol. This will be helpful. And the last one, this will be other dedicated for provide to bypass the public internet. So it will be helpful for bypass the public internet with the helpful for this Azure vWAN. Last but not least, advanced routing protocol. It will dynamic support a BGP that I have already covered in a standard one, that will provide you a border gateway protocol for dynamic routing between complex network, like you are using for on-premise and any kind of Azure network. It will be helpful, and also it will be helpful for custom route to control traffic flow. So these are the key features that we are using for the Azure vWAN. Then come to the benefits. So benefit like scalability, as we already seen this scalable, like it will be helpful for providing a scalable according to the requirement. So suppose you want to doing for any kind of scaling, and you can't handle the traffic and doing without manual intervention. So this will helpful for provide you a scale up. So you can do the scale up and scale down according to your requirement. High availability, it will provide you a high availability, and also provide you a failover mechanism. It means like suppose you have to provide any kind of SLAs for uptime and performance. So this high availability will provide with by the virtual vWAN. And cost efficiency. So this will be also helpful for like whatever the expensive hardware you have to purchase or you have to maintain. For this one, you can use this flexible model like cost efficiency according to your requirement. If you see, this is offers a flexible pricing model that will like do you like pay only the resource you use. So whatever the resource you can use according to your requirement, you can use a pay as you go model as well. So this is quite good as compared to like for enhancing any kind of network, you have to set up a network and you have to manage and maintain your network connectivity. So this is quite hard. So for this one, cost efficiency or cost optimization, this thing will quite helpful. And last but not least, for the enhanced security, so like it will be provide you a simplify security requirement and centralized management and policy, and also for Azure Firewall DDoS protection that I have already covered previously, like on the comprehensive protection and Azure Firewall DDoS and integration. So this kind of environment like we are using for enhance our security. So this is the benefits that we are using for Azure VPN. Now, last but not the least, for the use cases. So this is the use cases like this is used for a branch use case for branch to branch communication. So if you see, this is enable direct communication between branch offices through global network with the help of complex and costly MPLS. So this is the helpful for branch to branch communication. Like suppose there will be a branch in between then branch offices from one side to another side, and you have to communicate in between the branch to branch. So this will be quite helpful for provide you the need of complex and MPLS network. Centralized security and management. So this is the also provide for the security policies and the branches using firewall and also for enhancing our security features. Site to site VPN. So it will be establish a secure VPN between branch offices and Azure VPN hubs. And also it will be helpful for hybrid cloud connectivity. So mostly like if you see on organization point of view, so there is some of the cloud, some of the organization use a hybrid cloud connectivity. So it will also helpful for provide you hybrid cloud connectivity in between them implementation for Azure VPN. And use cases like express route. So suppose express, it will provide your private connection to Azure, bypass the public network and enhance performance and security. That the things like for express route VPN that you are using, and it will be helpful for providing a private connection to the Azure. Site to site VPN, already we have discussed, and the dynamic routing like utilize BGP for dynamic routing for Azure Hub and provide you a dynamic routing pattern. So this is the helps like it will be used for the use cases for any kind of branch to branch, site to site, express routes, and dynamic routing. So this is the use case that we are using for the Azure VPN. And if you see this global transient network, so it will be helpful for reduce latency and improve performance for globally distributed application. So it will quite helpful for reduce our latency, like suppose you are any kind of using any kind of network that you are using that will provide an latency. So it will be help to reduce that latency and also improve your performance for globally distributed applications. So whatever the application you are using, so it will be helpful for reduce your latency and improve your performance. Traffic manager also, it will be provide you a traffic based on your location, your geographic, and also your other criteria, somewhat like your regions and somewhat like your subnets. So whatever the connectivity you have to do it for the traffic manager, it will help you to direct provide the traffic in between the locations and all that. And last but not the least, latency based. So it will be optimized for the ensuring the best user experience. So it will be helpful for provide the best user experience for a latency based routing side. And there is disaster recovery. So in most of the organization, like a disaster recovery is also set up. So it will be helpful for provide a high availability and redundancy, or whatever the DR or disaster recovery, the setup within the organization that done it from any of the environment specific. And use cases like high availability, site to site VPN and globally. So this is we already covered about the high availability site to site VPN and global reach. So this is the use case that we are using for Azure VPN. Now the conclusion. So the conclusion will be, so it will provide you versatile and scalable networks for the solution, ideal for, you can say, enterprise seeking for any kind of network infrastructure. Like suppose you are setting up any kind of network infrastructure, and it will provide you a scalable network, like whatever the network you have to do it, you will scale up and scale down according to the requirement. By offering this will provide you a very kind of global connectivity, security features, and centralized management. This kind of things it will be provide you within the organization side, and it will also improve your performance and also higher availability and also strengthen your network connectivity, whatever you are doing, whether it is for the branch offices or any kind of support you are provided from remote network, any kind of things. So you can do it with the help of network challenge, whatever the network challenges you are facing in your environment, it will be helpful for complete your all the tasks, whatever you need to do it. And also, if you see, this will be useful for offering visibility, control, and automation, like for the complexity and cost effective that previously we have seen in the slides, like whatever the cost we have associated, whatever the cost optimization that it will be depend. So another with traditional WAN deployments, this will be quite helpful for Azure VPN, and also it will be a backbone for low latency, high performance connectivity, optimization, application performance across globally locations. So whatever the locations like you have, this is the way like I have completed the slide. Now come to the demo. So for demo side, so for this one, I have created one of the resource group. So if you see one resource group that I have given the name, that is test-rg, and in between them I have provided the name and the location of the resource group. And for virtual WAN, that you need to create one virtual WAN, and the resource name that I will provide you a test-vwan, and in between that you have to provide the name and whatever the resource group that you have taken from this one, and the location. So this is the location that you have to put. So for whenever you are creating any kind of virtual WAN, you have to need first one with this resource group and second one from the Azure virtual WAN.
Rohit, you are not audible to me again. Rohit, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, Rohit, you were not audible.
Okay. So for that one, I am using a variable name. So in between them, I am taking a default name. So this is the code converter I am using, and the description that I have put it for name of the virtual WAN. And same way, I have taken a location for the variable side, and I'm taking a location for the East US, and the description that I have provided for location for virtual WAN, and in between the variable for the resource group. So this is the resource group I have taken, and the description name of the resource group that I have taken. And in between them, I'm taking one of the ID. So this is the ID currently I am using for Azure VPN. So this is the description that it will provide you a virtual WAN resource ID. So this is the Azure RM virtual WAN. So the test VPN and the VPN ID. So this is the way like we can create a virtual WAN. So because this is a quite complex network, like we have to set up a virtual WAN, we have to create virtual WAN hub and between the connections. So currently I'm providing a basics. I'm telling you a detailing about whatever the need we have to create for the resource group and the virtual WAN. So this is the basics that we are using. So in registry side, you can take help and you can create any kind of virtual WAN, whatever the requirement would come to you, whatever the things you have to establish. This will be helpful. Yeah, so this is the way like it will be helpful providing you the connectivities between wide area network, any kind of communication between high availability, high scalability, this kind of environment, it will be helpful. So yeah, thanks Kim. So this is the way like we can use and you and use for the any kind of environments or any kind of establishment with the connectivity through virtual WAN. So team, any question? about that? Virtual WAN? Okay, I think no.
I guess no one is having any queries as of now, Rohit. So we'll appreciate everyone that you can reach out to Rohit later on Teams with your queries, and he'll be happy to answer those with you individually. And with this, I guess we are good to wrap up. Right,
Yeah.
Rohit?
Okay. So
Okay,
team,
fine, fine.
yeah, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead,
you're
Himanshu.
saying something.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, fine, fine. I was just wrapping up. So if you have to say anything, you can please.
And also sorry for that, like the network issue that I am facing today. So sorry for team. Yeah.
No, no worries, no worries. It happens. So, thank you, Rohit, for delivering the session, and thank you everyone for attending it today. Please don't forget to fill your feedback forms and have a great day ahead. Thank you.